Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I'm your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Phenom Michael Bullock, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel Dee Woodson, and, well, off the heels of a very newsworthy weekend in the world of professional wrestling, not just WWE, but Impact Wrestling, AEW. I mean, a lot of news coming out over the weekend. I mean, unreal, and I will certainly get into the not one but two huge bombs that were dropped by Impact Wrestling as part of my Tony's take at the end of our show this evening. But I'll tell you what. Dee Dee, okay. We'll definitely keep that in prayer for you, no doubt about it. But that's all I can say on that. So let's get into this right now. Monday Night Raw, of course, once again from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, exclusively on the USA Network, a show that was taped this past Saturday. And we started off with the big segment here. This was the big segment that was being heavily promoted. The double contract signing. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler and Asuka and Sasha Banks. Double contract signing at the exact same time. Samoa Joe serving as the moderator. Oh, what could go wrong? Oh, no, I'm only kidding. But I'll tell you what, though. In hindsight, you got to consider it a segment of the night here. I mean, you got to love I love the cold open with the women fighting to start the show as the show came on the air. It was an attention grabber. And I also like the way they got through the double contract signing in fairly short order. And during that contract signing, Drew McIntyre told Dolph Ziggler that he could pick the stipulation for their title match at Extreme Rules. And it'll be interesting to see what type of stipulation they have in mind for McIntyre versus Ziggler. It really needs to be something absurdly lopsided in order to convince anyone that Ziggler has a chance to win the title. But let's be realistic. He's not going to win the title. That's all we know. So, but all in all, though, I got to say this was a great way to start the show. Great segment here. And I don't know what else there is to say, except I'm definitely sold on both matches. No doubt about it. So, and it sets up a huge main event for this evening. Mixed tag team matchup. Drew McIntyre and Asuka squaring off against Dolph Ziggler and Sasha Banks. We're going to review that. I mean, a lot of things came out of that one, but we'll get into that at the end. But for right now, I got to be honest. This was hands down the segment of the night, no doubt about it. This was very well done. So nothing more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. Let's get your thoughts. Double contract signing. We don't get this often. As I recall, this has got to be like a first. This has got to be a first. I've never recalled having two contract signings at the exact same time. And Joe is the moderator. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, this was actually the first time that they have ever done that, and it actually paid off really well. It definitely grabbed the attention of all of us at the very beginning, and this was a very good, well done segment. I totally agree with what you just said, Anthony, with being segment of the night. It definitely has my attention, and it served its purpose because it really played off the great battles of both McIntyre and Ziggler, and mainly, and the reason why I think we all got excited was for Asuka versus Sasha Banks. So with that said, I thought it was really nicely done. I kind of felt like Bayley tried to commandeer and steal the segment, basically being the mouthpiece for Sasha here, which I think, she doesn't necessarily need to be, because of the fact that I think we all can agree Sasha can hold her own not only in the ring but also on the promos too. She's really good. So I mean, at the end of the day, it served its purpose. It definitely got enough interest and enough heat on the Raw side of the title matches, so that makes it very interesting to watch. So no, this is going to be very interesting to see. So with nothing more to say, and Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a good segment here to start it off, and yeah, definitely the segment of the night. I mean, yeah, I mean the interaction was good, especially with um, yeah, McIntyre was basically telling Ziggler to pick the stipulation for their upcoming WWE title match at Extreme Rules. So yeah, so who knows what it'll be, and yeah, and as far as the when it comes to the Raw Women's title match, I mean, yeah, Bailey tried to. I mean, not only she tried, she was actually doing. She was trying to steal the spotlight. Obviously, trying to be the mouthpiece for Sasha Banks. She's trying to be like Paul Heyman, trying to speak for her. But to me, that was to me, and I'll say it was trifling unnecessary. Um, Sasha Banks can hold her own on the promos, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I mean, the segment was definitely good, segment of the night. But to me, guys, I really could have gone without Bailey trying to speak for Sasha. So that's my only nitpick of it. So, Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can pretty much agree with what y'all said, so I'm not going to really add anything to it. So it's yours, Florio.
All right, very well, and we have a 2-for-1 deal here. The Big Show, he comes out, he cuts a promo, and he was basically calling out Randy Orton, but he didn't get Randy Orton. Instead, he got Andrade, Angel Garza, and Zelina Vega. And then moments later, the Nature Boy Ric Flair showed up. Why a 71-year-old man in a high COVID-19 outbreak area was showing up, that concerns me. But, that aside, Flair goes, they go back and forth, and then it leads into a tag team match that was announced earlier today. We had the Viking Raiders squaring off against Angel Garza and Andrade. And Andrade and Angel Garza, they win the match 11 minutes and 15 seconds. MF, I mean, championship committee moment, perhaps?
It could have been until later on, and we'll get into that. Or you might cut it out, I don't know. But yeah, Angel Garza, Andrade wins the match. Very impressive. And they did get the job done, and they did cement themselves possibly a tag team title match. And it was good. It was good for what it was worth. I could probably give this about 2.5, 2 3/4. Like I said, it was good for them until later in the night. Hopefully, you'll get into that, and this is where I kind of sense, But no, this was good for them at the moment until later, but nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll give it about maybe 2.5, 2 3/4. I mean, it was good. I mean, it could have been just a smidgen better, but all in all, I mean, it was a good match for what it was and the time it did get. And as far as championship committee moment, um, yeah, about that. Well, obviously, we'll get into what happened later on in the night, but um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, championship committee moment. I would have to say no on that. So we'll describe it later on when. Well, I mean, if we do, or if we cut it out, then maybe Florio could get into it. So nothing more to say. Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the writing. I mean, it was a fairly good tag team match, but you can see, that Selena is losing control over her guys, even, you know, right here where they blew up, and then she had to go out and try to bring them both back and get them both on the same page so that they could finish the match. But yeah, I mean, it was good for what it was worth, and with Big Show that going out there to address Randy Orton. I agree. Flair had no business out there. Um, I was hearing he wasn't even supposed to be there, and then we see him tonight. So I don't know. Um, just a surprise to see him there. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
Slight disagreement. I'm actually going to go a little bit higher than you guys. I'm going to give this between 3 and 3.25. And I got to say, this was one of my top fights of the night. I would probably have to say second, maybe third best fight of the night here. As far as the in-ring segment goes, Show and Flair without Orton was much less effective than last week. It's hard to get excited about two veterans past their prime yelling at each other. Show really did not need to get involved in any of this, especially the awkward overlap with the tag team rivalry. But the tag match that followed delivered. Andrade and Garza have chemistry to spare in spite of their odd pairing to start. The Viking Raiders always deliver. It was great all around and showed why Zelina Vega's team should be allied for a while before their eventual breakup. So, and with all due respect, I think they're the next in line to challenge the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team Championship. I mean, I call it Championship Committee moment because of the fact that they defeated a former Raw Tag Team Championship team in the Viking Raiders, coming off a feud with the Street Profits themselves. Although we can't really call it a feud. I mean, it was campy comedy nonsense, but it is what it is. So it's really all we can say on that. So 3.25. That's what I feel is the correct rating for that bout, no doubt about it. So let's continue on here. Okay, now we're going to get into some cutout nonsense here. 24/7 championship on the line. Akira Tozawa defending against R-Truth. Winner of the match in an even 1 minute. And once again, 24/7 champion, new champion, it's R-Truth. Tozawa and the Ninja Bit, downright insulting. And it's a damn shame because Tozawa is a hell of a talent. I should know because he was one of the mainstays of 205 Live for a long time. Former Cruiserweight champion in his own right. And you're doing this with him? Give me a break. But now we can get back into some relevant stuff here. We had Seth Rollins and Murphy. Seth Rollins cut a promo on Rey Mysterio, interrupted by Rey and Dominic Mysterio via satellite. And when all was said, and this led into another 2-for-1 deal. It led into a tag team matchup. Seth Rollins and Murphy against Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo. Winners of the match, 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Seth Rollins and Murphy. Seth Rollins with the curb stomp on Humberto Carrillo for the 1-2-3. So Michael Bullock, during our Raw chat tonight, this was one of our favorite matches of the night. I mean, easily a top 3 fight of the night for sure.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 3 stars for the match here. I mean, definitely. I thought it looked good. I mean, it was all good. I mean, basically, and then after the match, I mean, it looked like we were going to relive what happened with Rey Mysterio when Seth Rollins puts the mask on Humberto Carrillo, and looked like we were going to relive that nightmare that we witnessed last month. But thankfully, Aleister Black made sure that did not happen, and obviously before with the promo, I mean, it was a good interaction with Rollins, and of course eventually with Mysterio and Dominic showing up on the screen. So yeah, so something's gonna happen down the line for Extreme Rules. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. So there's really nothing more for me to add. Dee Whitson, it is yours.
Yeah, the segment was very storyline driven. It's very much showing the two factions, I guess you can call them, setting up and getting ready to go to war here. So very well done with that match. I'll agree 3 stars. It was pretty good. you know, I think we're all really getting to the point to where you really starting to hate Seth Rollins because of the wanting to destroy everybody's eyes on those steps and try to make everybody a sacrifice. Um, I'm not real crazy about the storyline that he's in, but it is what it is. That they're going with it. So it looked the match looked really good, and the segment was real good. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
I gotta once again disagree with the rating here. I got to give this between 3.25 to 3.5 stars because this was a great spot fest. This was a fun sprint. I mean, I can't help it. It really was. Let me see here. Bear with me. My system's a little on the slow side. What else is new? It's what it's been the last few days. The promo segment came out real good. I mean, I definitely like that one. I mean, Rollins backed up his words. I mean, that's what happened, and he came out really good. All right, hold on here. That's coming up now. Yes, indeed. I mean, like I said, it was a fun spot, great action throughout. I mean, when this match became official, I had a great feeling about it, and I'm not at all surprised it delivered because you got 4 great talents who can go. My only gripe is that they didn't get enough time. I wish they would have gotten a little more time. But Rollins has run with this gimmick for a while, leading to many great segments. When it works, it really works. And this one was on point because Rollins actually backed up his words with his actions. He may not have blinded Carrillo, but he won and stood tall. He needs to build momentum again, and that begins with Rollins and Murphy picking up victories together. It would be best if Aleister Black did not suffer for it, but it is better to commit to one angle than try to establish everyone at once. Well-worked match. And like I said, Aleister Black continues to feel underutilized as one of Rey Mysterio's buddies, but hopefully this will somehow lead to something bigger for him. So, second best segment of the night, as far as the segment goes. And the match also second best fight of the night, 3.25 to 3.5 stars. This was a well-worked fight. So there's really nothing more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher is yours.
3.25 stars. Totally agree with everything you guys have said. I thought it was really nicely done with everything that has been happening. Seth Rollins is really good as a heel, especially being the Messiah. I love this gimmick. I know there's a little controversy about him trying to sacrifice people's with their eyes. I get that. It is kind of a gory sight to see, especially when you see what the end result could have been. I think we all remember what happened to Rey Mysterio about a month ago and how deplorable that scene was and scary how that scene was. At the end of the day, I thought they did a really good job with it. I think they kind of gave us an opportunity which really opens our eyes more than anything else. And yeah, this was a solid performance, and that is something that we can definitely say. Like you said, 4 great workers in the ring, battling it out, and that's what Raw needs to be. You need these kind of matches more than anything else to survive a 3-hour show. So, I mean, they did it. They did really well. There's really nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
Very well. Continuing on, we had, and then they showed the tribute for the Undertaker. It was really good. I mean, y'all remember what we saw Friday night on SmackDown? That was well done. Nice little tribute there. Back to cutouts here. Ruby Riott went up against Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce wins the match 3 minutes and 15 seconds. The last 2 weeks, they've actually been encouraging for Ruby Riott. Sure, she just lost to one of the Iconics, but it seems like the storyline is building to a Riott Squad reunion Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan down the line. So definitely something to think about there. Then we had the 2-on-1 handicap matchup. The Big Show against Andrade and Angel Garza. Big Show won the match, 5.5 minutes. Now, I thought we might see Randy Orton interfere to spare Andrade and Garza from losing, but they went with the ongoing friction between the tag partners instead. And I don't know what to make of that, but you know, the match was not too bad. I would have to probably give it about 2 to 2.5 stars, and I'm guessing I know my panel wants to get into this, especially MF and Bullock, you know, to counteract my championship committee comment, and I think I understand where you're coming from on this. It was not only unnecessary but counterproductive. I mean, Andrade and Garza found their cohesion together in order to defeat the Viking Raiders. Supposed to be a big turning point. Instead, they lost in the same night because they could not get on the same page. And how can anyone take the duo seriously as challengers to the Street Profits if they can't win a handicap match against a single opponent? I know that's where MF and Bullock are going to nail me with it, and rightfully so. I agree 100%. I obviously was too hasty about that championship committee comment earlier, but Zelina Vega's group has barely gotten off the ground yet. It's consistently splintering further. But I will say this, though. That was the best I've seen the Big Show look in a long time. I mean, he looks really, really good. I mean, now I'm not giving it to you yet, MF, but I want to bring MF in for a quick question. I mean, when we did our commentary thing, I mean, what do we always say whenever Big Show did those chops?
Oh yeah.
Whoa. And I would say, did you hear that? And what would you say?
Did you feel it?
My God. Yeah, that's what you would say.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I'm going to give it about 2 to 2.5 for the effort for that. Like I said, that's the best I've seen the Big Show look in a very long time. Yes, he's getting up there in age. He's pushing 50, but man, I mean, that's the best I've seen him look in forever and a day. So I got to be honest. But yes, Garza and Andrade. I mean, MF. I mean, you could really make an argument here. I mean, we're gonna do a little reverse psychology here. We're gonna reverse the roles here with the bit we're about to do here. I mean, it was Garza. I mean, Garza left, and he left Andrade high and dry, and I mean, it's an unwritten law in the world of professional wrestling. You know it as well as I do. If you have a problem, you settle it outside the ring, not inside.
Yes, but remember, Anthony, rules are meant to be broken as well. That's one of those. Yeah, those are one of those Jesse-isms, as he liked to use back in the day.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes, indeed. But this is what I was talking about, you know, too soon anointing them in the championship committee moment. And the only thing is that, okay, let me just say this, and I'm going to try to preface this as best I can. If it was any other person, I don't think we would have made a big stink about it. Because it's Big Show, Big Show was supposed to do what he was supposed to do. What happened here tonight was exactly what I was expecting. To destroy Angel Garza and Andrade in a match, a handicap match on a 2-on-1, and he's supposed to look strong. So I think what WWE did was really a detriment to Garza and Andrade more than anything else. They really kind of hurt they hurt them, because like we said earlier in the evening, they had a big tag team win. They knocked off the Viking Raiders. So you're thinking, oh my God, that might put them in line for a title match. This literally counterproducts what they just did. This literally takes them right out of the picture, because with the drama, with the fighting, with the stuff that was going on, but you can tell, you know, there's still friction there. You know, is that just something that needs to be addressed? And look at what happened. Angel Garza took Selena and said, "You said that this is your moment. Here's your moment. It's all yours." Basically, Andrade tried to slip through the back door to try to steal the win on Angel Garza when Garza was definitely getting the upper hand on Big Show, and Andrade tried to be a weasel in this whole situation and got what was coming to him. He got his comeuppance, as we like to say on this show. So, am I angry that that is how it played out? No, not really. I do agree that this was the best Big Show has looked in a very long time. I definitely will give you that. And I'll go as far to say 2 stars. But again, the moral of the story is that you build Garza and Andrade as possible next challengers for the tag team titles, and you literally pulled the rug out from under them by literally throwing them to the largest athlete in the world, the Big Show. Even though Big Show did what he needed it to do and did the job that he was supposed to do, that was an easy win. It was a solid match. But with Big Show at his age, you need talented young guys to push him. And I think that's exactly what Garza and Andrade did tonight. So as much as I may poo-poo over the outcome and maybe the ramifications of what happened tonight, I also got to give credit where credit is due. These guys really busted their butts and did what they needed it to do. And Big Show didn't have to do much. He didn't have to force the issue on this match. I think he did an incredible job. I think he did a huge. It was a great performance in his part, and I think moral of the story is that they did very well under the circumstances. I just don't like the booking or even the possible story that this is going, because again, I felt like this is being counterproductive to what they built earlier in the evening. Just my thoughts alone. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, and like you said, basically, but what we saw in this match, it goes to what I just said earlier. I think it takes them out of the conversation of them contending for the Raw Tag Team titles. The thing is, you built this. You had them win earlier in the night against the Viking Raiders, and if this thing didn't happen, then I would have said, yes, this is a championship committee moment. But because what we just saw here, and Angel Garza basically leaving Andrade high and dry to the Big Show, it just goes to show you that it's not the case, because Angel Garza basically took Zelina Vega and said, Big Show's all yours, and then you saw what happened at the end. So, yeah, so if this was a clean and we didn't get any of this, then I would have said it's a straight up championship committee moment. But after what we saw here, nope, not going to happen. So, yeah, Fletch pretty much touched base on everything. So I don't know if Dee Dee Woodson wants to get into it, but I got a feeling she doesn't want to. So I say we just move on, Florio.
I'm right here. I'm right. Oh, Dee. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I kind of mentioned this earlier at the start of the show, because we actually saw them kind of implode during the match, and Selena tried to pull them both back in so they could finish the match. And sitting here trying to tell everybody, they're fine, they're on the same page, there's nothing going on, and that's where you can cry out the BS. We've seen now for weeks even back when Theory was with him, you could start seeing the implosion of this little Mexican stable here going down the toilet. And basically tonight, it's got to the point to where it looks like they're saying, okay, Selena, you either go with Andrade or you go with Garza. And looks like Garza dragged her out with him at the end of the match. So we'll have to kind of see where this ends up playing out. Big Show definitely looked very good in this match. But not much more I'm going to add to it. It's just this is definitely, going to, at the end, it's going to come down to, who Zelina is going to end up being the manager of, if she's going to stick with Andrade or if she's going to jump ship and go off with Angel. We'll just have to see what happens. Or if she dumps both of them just because of the fact that she's sick and tired of them fighting. I know I would be. So it's yours, Florio.
All right. Theme of the night here tonight, 2-for-1 deals. But in this case, we had it in terms of matches. We started out with a non-title match. We had the United States Heavyweight Champion Apollo Crews one-on-one with MVP. MVP, he picked up the win, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. And then moments later, we ended up getting another match. We ended up getting, right after that, we ended up getting an impromptu matchup featuring Bobby Lashley squaring off against someone we haven't seen in a long while, that being the one and only Ricochet. I mean, we have not seen Ricochet in several weeks. I mean, I can't remember the last time we saw Ricochet in action on Monday Night Raw. But then again, I think it's because of the fact that this Sunday night on the WWE Network, they're going to be showing an all new episode of WWE 365, and it's going to be all about Ricochet. So that's the story there. And when all was said and done, Bobby Lashley won that match also in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So, looks like we have our, hold on a minute. Okay. Everything's here. Okay. Yep. So MVP beats Apollo Crews 6 minutes, 40 seconds. And then moments later, Bobby Lashley beats Ricochet 6 minutes, 40 seconds as well. MF, I mean, a couple of back-to-back 6 minute and 40 second sprints here. MVP, maybe a championship committee moment for him, but what about Lashley and Ricochet? Much more competitive than we thought.
Yeah, much more competitive than we thought. But then again, Ricochet is half man, half amazing. Whenever he battles, you know he's going to give it his all. Bobby Lashley looked really good, really strong in this match, and that's something that I think we're going to have to really keep a closer eye on, is that, yes, what Bobby Lashley did was really impressive. He beat him down. He beat him up. He hurt him. It was a very impressive performance, and I could not be any happier with how this played out. Lashley did so well in this match, and there's really nothing more to add. Truly a fight, a solid match. You could even say maybe 2.5 to 3 is my rating for the match, and I really got nothing more to add. So, yeah, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
What did you get, Fletch, for the Apollo and MVP match?
MF, there was a 2-for-1 deal. There was also MVP and Apollo Crews as well. We didn't really hear a rating out of that. Oh, go ahead, Bullock. We'll get back to him. Go ahead, Bullock.
I'll just take it. Yeah, I'm guessing that didn't want to talk about it, so I'm guessing if he doesn't want to talk about it, then I won't as well. I mean, I think but I do agree with him. The Ricochet Bobby Lashley match to me was more entertaining than the previous match. So I'll give it about 2.5 to 3 for the effort. I mean, I thought both men looked good, even in the short amount of time that it did get. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to add. So DD Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, the first match I wasn't as crazy about. I probably could go maybe 2 stars on it. It just felt, too much like a beat down, a punishment type thing. I mean, I didn't really care a whole lot about it, even though, it is building this storyline up. The second match, Bobby did look really good. And, we learned here that Ricochet knows how to take some bumps, and he did very well pulling us off and, making Bobby look as good as he did. So, I'll agree with you guys on the rating for that match. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
All right. All right. As far as the first match goes, 2.25 stars for that. The Cruz feud with MVP and Lashley, that's going fine. I'm glad that MVP didn't get destroyed again. I mean, they really need to save MVP getting his comeuppance for key moments rather than having it happen every other week on the show. But yeah, MVP gets the win. Might be setting up a championship committee moment for him because of the fact that he pinned the United States champion. So maybe, just maybe, that MVP could face Cruz for the U.S. title, maybe at Extreme Rules, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Very possible. I'm sure there's no reservations about that, unlike the other one. But anyways, Cruz versus MVP was fine, but nothing special. The finish was particularly awkward. The U.S. champion will gain credibility by taking down a veteran like MVP in a major match down the line. However, just like that match, it will not be a good in-ring bout. On the flip side, Ricochet versus Lashley, sleeper fight of the night by a solid margin. It was nice to see Ricochet and Cedric Alexander again, who continue to remind everyone of their talent. They just need opportunities. I'm actually going to bump it up to a solid 3 stars for the effort. So, very well done. Pleasant surprise, to say the very least. Main event of the evening. Yeah. Well, this is going to be a little bit of fun for... well, in one sense, there will be a little bit of some fun for myself and Michael Bullock, but good old MF Michael Fletcher is going to ultimately come out the winner here. It was the big mixed tag team matchup. The WWE champion Drew McIntyre and the Raw Women's champion Asuka squaring off against Dolph Ziggler and one half of the women's tag team champions, courtesy of Friday Night SmackDown, the Boss Sasha Banks. When all was said and done, the winners of the match, I believe the time of the fall, let me just double check here. I believe it was 14 minutes and 5 seconds, I believe it was. Let me see. Yes, 14 minutes, 5 seconds. Winners of the match, Sasha Banks and Dolph Ziggler. Sasha Banks scores the fall on Asuka. MF will have his moment in just a moment, but I believe it's Michael Bullock who starts this one off. But lost in all of this, Michael Bullock, our favorite referee. He actually refereed this match on Monday Night Raw. Go figure. Mr. Danilo. And what else, Bullock? Okay.
I'll let you do it. Just
yeah.
It's your floor.
Yeah, and his pompadour. Yes, sir. So nothing more to say here. Michael Bullock, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about this one. This was the hands down fight of the night. Am I right about that? Even with
you're even with the outcome, I mean, it was definitely the fight of the night. I'll give it about 3.25, 3.5 stars. I mean, yeah, I mean, who would have thunk that we would see mine and Anthony's favorite referee being on Raw? I mean, yeah, maybe who knows what's going on here, but it's a nice sight to see him on Raw. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know what to make of this. I mean, it was a good match, no doubt about it, but some would say probably the ending was maybe a little bit of a whimper, but I think obviously you want to give Sasha Banks some momentum going into the Extreme Rules match against Asuka for the Raw Women's title. But I think we all can agree at the end that Asuka's probably going to retain the title. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say on it. So Dee Woodson, I mean, it's yours, but and as far as I mean, the only other nitpick that I have about this main event, Bayley on commentary. Could you please shut up for at least 5 minutes?
And take your feet off the announce table. This is not SmackDown. This is Raw.
Well, no matter if it's Raw or SmackDown, she don't need her feet on the table. I mean, hasn't anybody taught these people that, you put your feet on the table, you lean your chair back on two legs, you're going to fall because a chair has four legs? Oh, well. Yeah, I can agree with a lot of Bullock's sentiments. I definitely am not a big fan of this Bayley Sasha Banks thing, and I am really waiting for this to blow over and us get the Sasha Banks versus Bayley, because this is getting really annoying. She's taken it upon herself to be the mouthpiece, and I think we said earlier, Sasha don't need a mouthpiece. She don't need somebody.
I mean, Bayley's being like Paul Heyman, but at least
Yeah.
Paul Heyman is more entertaining than Bayley.
Well, like I said, Sasha don't need a mouthpiece. Sasha, unlike Brock Lesnar, Sasha has a mind. She can talk. She can make her own decisions. Here you have Bayley throwing her into matches without even consulting her to see if she wants to do it. A few weeks ago, she threw her in there, and Sasha didn't even have her shoes. Bayley had to go get her a pair of tennis shoes or something to wrestle in because she didn't have shoes. It's getting ridiculous, the amount here that we're getting out of these two and how much they're making Sasha take. I mean, there's only so much a person can take before they hit that wall, and here they're just letting her just take it and take it and take it, and she's never hitting that wall. And that's something I'm a little surprised that it's gone this long. I mean, this is to a point to where I would think you'd start seeing a little more frustration than what we've seen. I mean, we've had a few shows where she has looked like she's frustrated, where she has looked like, she wants to do something, and then it's just like they drop it. We drop the ball. We're not going to do it. So I hope, this ends soon. I'm getting kind of tired of it. But yeah, I thought this match was pretty good. So yeah, like I said, I pretty much agree with what Bullock said on it. So it's yours, Florio.
3.5 to 3.75 of a star. This was the fight of the night for me. Fun main event that made the most of a limited roster. The pairing of Drew McIntyre and Asuka was fun, though anyone paired with the Empress of Tomorrow works. Dolph Ziggler showed some promise as a future challenger to a motivated McIntyre as well, which was welcome. It was important at this point to establish the challengers rather than the dominant champions. However, Asuka does not need losses on her resume right now. She has lost more than one lately. Dolph Ziggler stealing a win from Drew McIntyre, that would have meant more. But nonetheless, though, it was a great match. Like I said, this was the fight of the night, 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. Not easy for me to do this, but I got to do it. All right, Mr. SmackDown, go ahead and gloat. The girl stole one.
She did steal it. It was a big win, no doubt about it. But now, instead of gloating, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm nervous. Booking 101. It just reared its ugly head.
Yeah.
Guys, barring a major, unless Sasha steals it, unless Bailey's there to cheat and help, I don't think Asuka's losing the belt on Sunday night. I don't. I honestly don't. Or,
It's July 19th.
it's July 19th. So, I
We got
mean,
a few weeks.
yeah, we still got a few weeks, but that was the first salvo. So I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, momentum definitely on the side of Sasha. The thing that I want to say is that, like you said, I think Ziggler should have gotten the win more than Sasha here. But you know she's going to be gloating. You know she's going to definitely rub it in the faces of a lot of people on Friday night as it pertains to SmackDown. And she's going to have a lot of reason to crow a little bit. So, at the end of the day, I guess the question is, can she do it? Or, what type of momentum is that going to bring to the table? It was definitely fight of the night. It was definitely the best match of the evening. I'll give this about 3 stars, no doubt about it. Good way to close. Good way to give momentum to Sasha to win over Asuka, and we're just gonna have to wait and see how this plays out. But like I said, normally when something like this happens, it gets me a little on edge right now. If this would have been the week before the pay-per-view, I would have been really nervous. I am nervous because hopefully Asuka does something to even it out. Because if this snowballs where Sasha's getting the better of the Empress of Tomorrow, I got a bad feeling about this on Team Blue's side. I would love to get the Raw Women's title on our show, just to stick it to Florio. But we're just gonna have to wait and see how this plays out. But yeah, victory for Team Blue. Team Blue takes a victory on the red brand from the red brand tonight, which is very rare. Not very often you see a SmackDown. Not very often you see a SmackDown talent win on Monday Night Raw. Normally they like to give Raw the victory, say, no, you're on Team Blue, you're Friday night, you can't get a victory here. They gave us this one. They threw us a bone. I don't know who to thank, but we'll take it. So, nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
God forbid if Sasha wins the title, I'm gonna channel my inner Jim Ross from SummerSlam 2002. Oh no, oh for God's sakes, no.
You think you know how you're gonna feel? Imagine how the hell I'm gonna feel if that happens.
And I'll also close in with I refuse to believe what I just saw. But then again, that's what I was saying after the match tonight. So
I'll lose my mind if that happens.
Yeah, I should have set that up for MF. I mean, that would have been an even better moment, but oh well. Missed opportunity, but that's all right. But anyways, overall review time. Didi Whitson, we're going to start it off with you. We're going to get you on out of here. I know you got a big leave of absence coming up, so let's get your final thoughts on Raw, and then we'll send you on your way.
Yeah, a lot going on for my leave of absence. So yeah, it was a very newsworthy show. There's some good points, some high points, a lot of low points, but in the end, still the whole thing was newsworthy. The whole thing, building up for Extreme Rules. I there's we could sit here, we could nitpick each and every one of these matches, but you know, the biggest thing is they did their job by building on the storyline like they should be, and telling the story and getting you ready for what we're going to get at pay-per-view. So yeah, I'm going to probably give it about 7 stars. It was, if we're even doing that right now, but if we're not, then that's what I would rate it. I think it was a fairly good show, uh, mainly because of the fact that it was just very newsworthy. So not much more I'm going to add. So I will see you guys in a month. Night.
All right, good night, Dee Dee. We wish you and your family the absolute best. So we're going to keep you all in prayer, and we wish you very well, and we hope to have you back safe and sound within the next month or so. So our best to you, Dee Dee, no doubt about it. So you will be missed, no doubt about it. But MF Bullock and I, we got it here. So
Well, thank you. Hopefully this will go smooth. The move part, I'm not as worried about as what I said privately in chat. So I already had my son call me asking me about the Facebook post that I wrote on it, because I didn't go into detail because I felt it wasn't anybody's business to know exactly what I was asking for the prayers for. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but you guys definitely deserve to know what the other issue is that's going on. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, things will get a little bit better.
Yeah,
we'll see what
I'm
sure
happens.
They will. I'll keep you guys posted. So.
All right. Take all the time you need, and whenever you're ready, the door is always open. You know that.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right. Good night, Dee Dee. All right. So, my overall thought, I'm right there with Dee Dee. If I was going to put a rating on this, I would say about 7 out of 10 as well. Overall, the pacing of the show has definitely quickened along with the creative shakeup. There are times where I like the faster pace, and there are also times where it feels a bit neurotic, but the approach feels logical in the empty venue era. But hopefully they will slow down and work in some longer bouts once things do get back to normal, which I heard could actually be soon, because, a lot of news came out over the weekend. And one of the big items that came out was the Hall of Fame ceremony, and which could take place the weekend of SummerSlam. And I'm also hearing that within the next few weeks to a month or so, we could actually not only have fans, but we could also be back in arenas again. So knock on wood and keep it in prayer. So and we had some very good matches tonight. That mixed tag main event, fight of the night, no doubt about it. Throw in that fun 10-minute sprint with Black and Carrillo against Rollins and Murphy. Viking Raiders against Andrade and Garza. That was a very good match as well. 3 quality matches. Then throw in a sleeper fight of the night with Bobby Lashley and Ricochet. And contract signing, the double contract signing came out really good. The Rollins and Mysterio program continuing to heat up. So I'm thinking it could be a 6-man at Extreme Rules. And I think ultimately, it's going to lead to a big match with Mysterio and Rollins for SummerSlam. I mean, that would be huge for the SummerSlam if we can get Mysterio against Rollins. That would be a huge match for Team Red. No doubt about it. That would be great. I would love to see it. So I think we're going to get it. I think it's going to be in the SummerSlam, though. That's just my thought. But we'll wait and see. But for right now, if I had to put a bow on this, I would have to say about 7. I agree with Dee Dee, hands down. So there's really nothing more to say here. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. Solid, newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw. Your thoughts on it?
Agreed. 7 out of 10. I think everybody played their parts really well. I really think it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to build off it. And, they, like you said, they still got a couple of weeks to go before they get to Extreme Rules. Next week is really the 4th of July week. So, how's that going to play out? What type of thing are they going to do with that? And at the end of the day, I think they did very well. So, I think Monday Night Raw definitely hit the nail on this one. If we were doing a rating, it would be 7 out of 10. But it's gotten better since the dumpster fire from 2 weeks ago, and they're slowly but surely working their way back up. I think with the shakeup, with the thing that had happened, at the end of the day, I think they're really doing a really decent job. So yeah, I enjoy what they've been doing, bringing to the table. So nothing more to add. And Anthony, it's time for your Tony's take.
Michael Bullock.
Sorry, Bullock.
Oh, that's okay, Fletch. Yeah, I agree. If we were doing a rating, I would have given this a 7 out of 10 as well. This was definitely a good show. I mean, yeah, I mean, some things did come out of this, and yeah, there's really nothing more to say. You guys pretty much touched on it. So now let's get to your Tony's take.
Alrighty, Tony's take time indeed, and let's get into it here. Impact Wrestling, of course. Oh boy, lot of stuff that's been. It's been rough waters for Impact Wrestling as of late. If you didn't hear the big news, NMF, feel free to weigh in if you'd like. Not one but two big nuclear bombs dropping. The first of which, Tessa Blanchard, fired from Impact Wrestling and stripped of the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. And then on top of that, Michael Elgin, fired. Oh man, what a mess indeed. Supposed to be a fatal 5-way elimination match at Slammiversary. Well, now, as of right now, it's a triple threat match with Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, and Trey Miguel. And that's really all there is to say on that. And a dirt sheet has just come out. And it looks like a certain pair of Good Brothers are on their way to Impact Wrestling. And we could see them at Slammiversary. Wink, wink. I think you know who I'm referring to. But the big news, of course, the firings of Tessa Blanchard and Michael Elgin. I mean, damn shame. And as of now, it's a triple threat match for the now, I guess we could say, vacated Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, no question about it. But that was the big news that came out when it comes to Impact Wrestling over the last week or so. Damn shame too, because those two had potential. They really did. Getting to the business at hand, we have Impact Wrestling from this past week, and let's see what happens. Just give me a second here. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, this was not a good show. It really wasn't. It was one of the weaker efforts in a while. Starting it off with Tasha Steelz against Nevaeh. Tasha Steelz wins in 6 minutes and 7 seconds. 1 3/4 of a star. Not the best use of Nevaeh or Tasha for that matter. They didn't click very well here. And the match was laid out, relied far too much on Kiera Hogan's distractions. The result was fine, but the match was not all that good. Then we had, then there was a lot of backstage stuff. And then we had Deonna Purrazzo. Her in-ring debut went up against Alicia Edwards. Deonna Purrazzo won it in 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Exactly what it needed to be. Purrazzo looked dominant, and she got the win in very short order while also getting to show off some of her technical ability. Then we had Ken Shamrock against Josh Alexander. That didn't happen. It was more of an angle than a match, really. Taya Valkyrie went up against Susie. Taya Valkyrie won the match, 8 minutes and 6 seconds. 2-star match. I like both talents, but it had some real sloppy moments, including the finish. Given the same amount of time, but a little less screaming and rushed moves, they could really do something solid, but it was all right for me. Rohit Raju, Chris Bay, Johnny Swinger against X Division champion Willie Mack and the Deaners. The heel team wins the match, 7 minutes and 48 seconds. 2.5-star match. Nice little chaotic battle that gave everyone a chance to get a moment or two in the ring while getting Bay some heat in his pursuit of Mack and the X Division title. Nothing mind-blowing, but it was good enough. Main event, Madman Fulton against Eddie Edwards. And it was Madman Fulton winning the match in 11 minutes and 6 seconds. By default, this was the fight of the night, 3-star match. They matched up okay, and while it was a little bit saggy in the middle, picked up very nicely in the end. Fulton getting the win makes a lot of sense to give him some heat now that he has a new alliance with Ace Austin. 5.5 out of 10. It was a down show here. The wrestling was down from recent weeks, while the storyline seemed to be in a holding pattern. Likely just a one-off because they were put in a bad position by having to make sudden changes due to the Joey Ryan situation. Solid main event. We got a few developments, but all in all, it was a vaguely skippable, if not exactly a bad week. So, on the next show, Moose will quote unquote defend his TNA Heavyweight Championship. He's going to be defending. Against. Let me see here. One moment here, trying to find it. Crazy Steve. He'll be defending against Crazy Steve, and Kira Hogan is going to go one-on-one with Jessica Havoc, and I also forgot to mention Deonna Purrazzo. She's going to be challenging Jordan Grace for the Knockouts Championship, July 18 at Slammiversary. So, big moment for her, no doubt about it. All right. So that all goes down tomorrow night at 8 p.m. over on Access TV, or if not, you can do it on Twitch with MF. So that's all there is to say there. So let's get into 205 Live. And, Impact Wrestling is 205 Live is only a 30-minute show now. So we started it off with Isaiah Swerve Scott against Tony Nese, and it was Isaiah Swerve Scott, 19 minutes and 57 seconds. 4-star match. They gave the match plenty of time, gave us a proper payoff on one of these lower level shows. I love the aggression from both men. The story was good with Nese working the back and getting frustrated. He couldn't put Swerve away. That frustration cost him, and Swerve gets the clean win to end the feud. They started slow with some mat wrestling and built while playing off previous issues they had with each other. It was fun, and I enjoyed it. Drew Gulak was also very good on commentary. One of the better matches on 205 Live in quite a while. 8 out of 10. It was the definition of a one-match show, as there was nothing else to that one. Thankfully, it was a match the show has been building to. They gave it a lot of time. They delivered, and it's worth checking out. And the Cruiserweight champion, Santos Escobar, will be joining the show starting next week. So definitely something to look forward to on that regard. So with all that being said, that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. The next 2 weeks on Wednesday Night Mayhem, AEW Fighter Fest, NXT Great American Bash. What a 2 weeks it's going to be.
Yes, indeed, and it's gonna be pretty explosive. You've been seeing the card. I'm not gonna run it down for you guys. We're gonna do it all, and it's gonna happen on Wednesday night, 10:30 Eastern, as always. And there's really nothing more to add. So, with that said, it's gonna be an incredible show, and truly, like you said, one of the best fights, one of the best nights in wrestling, when you get AEW Fyter Fest and the Great American Bash going down. So, nothing more to say. So, Anthony, it's yours.
For the next 2 weeks, get ready. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. The next 2 Wednesdays are going to be hella fun. That's all I know. So that'll do it for this. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem with good old MF Michael Fletcher over on Brace Fan 95. It's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here. Signing off for good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Phenom Michael Bullock, D.D. Woodson again. We wish you all the very best. And we can't wait to see you back here. We hope to have you back here safe and sound whenever you're ready to come back. And then, of course, always and forever, Derek Forever. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up what you for style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for the first of 2 huge Wednesday Night Mayhem shows over the next 2 weeks. Yep. So, till then, you know the routine, like I always say. You've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.